Hey guys, Steph the Illuminated Nerd here. As a follow-up from last week's video about using tripods and lenses to enhance your video production quality of your smartphone, we're looking at microphones that you can also use and pair with your smartphone so that you have an excellent quality video production suite using your smartphone. Let's get right into it. So here I am using the built-in microphone in my smartphone, and my smartphone's maybe 3 feet away from me, so that I can have the same sort of look and feel as when I use my full camera. So you can sort of see that the audio quality is sort of distant, and that's because it's using that built-in microphone from, of course, from the smartphone. Now, in comparison to that, option number one is to use an external microphone that is not connected to your smartphone, and then you want to sync the audio from that external microphone with your video in post-edit. And you can do that by still recording the audio from your smartphone and also recording the audio from an external device such as my Yeti microphone, like I'm doing right now. And then you can basically replace the audio that the Yeti microphone recorded instead of the audio from the smartphone, but use the video from the smartphone. So that's option one. Here's what that looks like in the post-edit when you're merging those two items together in Adobe Premiere. So in Adobe Premiere, we actually just need to select the two files that we have imported, which is our video and audio from our smartphone, and the WAV file, which is just your audio file from your external audio, like your Yeti or your Zoom H1. And you select both of them and you right click and you click on merge clips, and the default options are actually what I use 100% of the time. It basically uses the audio, the WAV file, as the new audio source, and it will delete the built-in audio from my original file, create a new file with the -merged suffix at the end, and then now that file has my new now has the audio from my external audio source in the in my MP4. So here I am using the built-in microphone in my smartphone, and my smartphone's maybe. One thing to note though is that the Yeti microphone always requires a USB cable because it's a USB microphone. So you have to always have a USB cable that's connected to the microphone to use it, and which is why you have to record on your computer while you're using it for your video recording with your camera. So that limits the portability of the microphone. Obviously it's quite large, but also because of that USB connection that's always required to use it, it makes it a type of microphone that you really want to use like at your computer desk or at a location where you're never changing locations. But if you're doing a lot of video work that requires you to be on site somewhere or portable, or you're changing locations often, then you might be better off using something like a Zoom H1N, which I have right here and what you're currently hearing me use. So the Zoom H1N is battery powered. You can use 2 AAA batteries or lithium or rechargeable batteries that you can then just obviously replace, but it's easy to find AAA batteries, so in a pinch you can just go to the store and buy some 2 AAA batteries and put them in there, and it should last something like 8 to 10 hours on a full battery set. So that's great. You can use it for a full session for whatever you're using. And some of the other great things about the microphone, other than the fact that there's 2 microphones here on the top of the Zoom H1, is that there's a microphone in, which allows you to use external microphones, and a line out, which allows you to plug in some headphones so you can use like a monitor and hear what you're recording at the same time. The predecessor, the Zoom H1, is a very popular microphone used by recording artists and whatnot because of its portability and versatility to take it on the road. But the Zoom H1N, the major difference between the 2 units is that people complained that there were buttons on the rear of the Zoom H1, and that when they were attaching it to their belt clip, sometimes they were accidentally pressing those buttons. So in the new version, they've moved all of the buttons to the front, And the rear has no buttons on it. It just has a connector so that you can put a belt clip, or so that you can attach the Zoom H1 to your mount on top of your camera. It's the same hole that you have on the top of your camera that you would normally attach a shotgun microphone or a flash on the top of your camera. You can also attach the Zoom H1N and put like a wind filter on it and use it like a shotgun microphone, no problem. You could also attach it to like a boom stand and have it just hovering over you, and that would be a perfect method of using it. You can see that it comes out great, and this is only at about maybe 75% gain, so it definitely has the ability to be used at a decent distance. Now, with that said, the more distance you have from your microphone, the lesser your audio quality will be, even as you turn your gain up, and then you'll start picking up other stuff around the room. So the next option that you can look at is by using a external microphone, such as a lapel microphone like this. I'm just going to attach it quickly here. Like this, I guess. Okay. And then I'm just going to plug it in to the Zoom H1. So now it's using the audio of the microphone, of the lapel microphone or lavalier microphone, and it's recording that, and because of the closeness of the microphone to my mouth, you'll generally get a crisper sound. And obviously there's different, this is a pretty low-end lavalier microphone. It was very inexpensive, but there's levels of lavalier microphones that go all the way up. The most popular one as far as like quality would be like the Rode Smart Lav. That one's considered like one of the better ones you can get, but you'll be paying like you know, something like $100 for it, whereas this was $20–30. So it still sounds good. You get a pretty clear sound, but also the added advantage is that you can also plug something like a mic like this. Yes, you can plug it into the Zoom H1, but option 3 is you can also plug it directly into your smartphone. So now let's look at option 3. All right, so now I'm using a lapel mic, and I have the long cable running from the lapel mic all the way to my smartphone that's currently on my tripod that's recording me as we speak. So that's the sort of quality you could expect from a lavalier microphone that's connected directly to your smartphone. So it does sound decent, but probably nowhere near as good as like the Zoom H1 or a Yeti microphone, depending on what your setup is. And also there's the obvious part of you being able to see the lavalier lapel microphone. So it all depends on the type of video that you're building. If you're just doing vlogs and whatnot, it doesn't matter if you see the microphone, then maybe this is great. Or if you're at a remote location, then maybe this is a decent option too. But personally, I like using the Zoom H1 for its versatility and whatnot. It seems to be great in every circumstance, where you can use it as an external microphone, like as a handheld microphone for interviews, but you could also plug your lapel into it, but you can also use it as you know, a microphone that's hanging from up above, or you can just put it in front of you, or it all depends on you know, what the type of video you're using at. But that one seems to have the most versatility of all of the options that we looked at today. So there you go. There's some options that you can use for your you know, your smartphone, so you have some great sounding audio. Clearly you don't want to use the built-in microphone of your smartphone, as I showed at the start. That's going to end up with some sort of distant and very grainy sounding video audio quality, and you know, you hear some when you have to raise the volume levels of the recording, you start to get some humming and hissing and whatnot. So yeah, you definitely want as clean of an original sound as possible, and an external microphone is the best way to do that. So hope you learned something, and I'll see you guys in the next one.